Jordan, we'll start with you.
I would say my final thought is that one reason why this is an exciting area is because there is change over time and rapid change. And just in the last few years, there are all kinds of things that are new to this area. So, in fact, just in the last week or so, we had the Lorenzo decision from the Supreme Court. And people interested in this area should take a look at that case. That's a case where the court found that knowingly disseminating a false statement can implicate 10b-5, and that will likely lead to new strategies by plaintiffs' lawyers and new defenses by defendants. So there are Supreme Court cases we've mentioned, usually 2 or 3 every year, and it's a fun area to stay on top of for that reason.
Thank you so much again to Jordan Eth. Cody, any final thoughts?
Sure. Just to echo what Jordan said, this is a fun area of law. It is fun to practice in this area. And even though the cases don't typically go to trial, we did just have one that did go in the Central District of California. It was the Puma Biotech class action trial. And if you've got some time to just Google that and look into it, it is sort of interesting. The jury did reach a verdict finding that the defendant company committed securities fraud with respect to one statement, but interestingly, the plaintiff's lawyers and the defendant's lawyers both put out press releases saying that they had won. And it's because the jury really did seem to parse the different statements and figure out which ones they felt were misleading and how much damages were associated with that, as opposed to other statements which were determined not to have been misleading, knocking out a huge chunk of the damages that the plaintiffs were aiming at. And so both sides at the end of that claimed victory. But it does harken back to some of the tips we talked about earlier. Focus on the statements, focus on what was said to the market, and train your fire there.
Excellent. Thank you so much again to Cody Harris. And Paul, final thoughts?
I would agree that it's from the perspective of an economist as well. It's a fun area to work in. There are a lot of interesting economic issues that arise in these cases. And I think one tip I would leave the audience with is that I would strongly encourage that they take every one of these cases and think about the unique aspects of each particular matter, and avoid, even though we've given you a bunch of tips, but avoiding cookie cutter approaches and really thinking through the issues and making sure that kind of you've examined all the relevant angles in the light of the particular circumstances of each case.